But yeah, so let's get into this. The most controversial restaurant and airline. Yeah, so original link in the description below. Let's get it.
Do you like what you see here on the outside? You're gonna love what you'll see on the inside.
Why do I like Hooters? Well, I will give you two reasons, the boobs and the hot wings.
Hooters pioneered the concept of a restaurant, and the idea is pretty simple. They only hire attractive women and then make them wear short, tight uniforms while serving food. But this raises some questions. How has Hooters managed to succeed despite decades of criticism, controversy, and lawsuits? How do they get away with violating employment and discrimination laws?
That looks like AI.
And is it true that Hooters could now be facing mass closures and that the end of Hooters is near? Or perhaps most interestingly of all, why did Hooters start an airline? Yes, seriously. In this video,
Hooters
all
airline
of these
is
questions
crazy
and more
though.
will be answered as we take a journey through the bizarre history of Hooters, one of the most controversial restaurants ever.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, how much tips did you make?
31, 32, $36,000.
Oh, y'all ever been to Hooters? Like anybody? Just asking. Let me know. Genuinely curious.
Hooters was incorporated on
I heard they have
April Fool's
mid-wings.
Day in 1983, and even the founders didn't think their idea was going to work. They were six friends with no experience in the restaurant industry who wanted a place that they couldn't get kicked out of. The plan was simple: put all the things they liked together in one place. Cheap beer, hot wings, big screen TVs with sports on, and girls. And that would be their unique selling point. They'd only hire young attractive women and make them wear tight revealing outfits while serving the food.
I just realized, what type of person would you have to be? I'm not bashing nobody, but like, what type of girl really works at Hooters? Genuinely asking. I just was a crazy freeze frame, but I didn't mean to do that. But I'm also serious, like, because my sister used to be a waitress, but she never went to. I don't think she would ever done like Hooters. So
employees were required to sign a contract stating they agreed to wear the Hooters girl uniform and that their responsibility was to interact with and entertain the customers. As for the company name, Hooters claim it's a reference to the sound an owl makes, as they have an owl in their logo, but it's obviously a double entendre. And it's said they got the name from an old SNL sketch.
And I believe it's derogatory to refer to a woman's breasts as boobs, jugs, Winnebagos, or golden bozos. And you should only refer to them as Hooters.
The location of the first
don't even
Hooters
sound
restaurant
right.
was Clearwater
Like in
in
that
Florida.
context.
And on October 4th, 1983, Hooters officially opened its doors for business. However, their chances of success looked slim. Every recent business in the area seemed to have failed, and the founders were so unprepared, they had to beg a friend to drive down and show them how to turn on their industrial kitchen equipment. To make matters worse, on their very first day, the founders thought they were going to get shut down. You see, even though they had applied for their alcohol license, the paperwork hadn't come through by their launch day, and that first day, 2 police officers showed up asking to see their alcohol license. It turns out though, they weren't real police officers. One of the founders just thought it would be funny to prank the other guys. But when they weren't busy pranking each other, the founders worked on advertising their new restaurant. Since they had a limited budget, they had to get creative. In fact, one of their very first marketing attempts was literally to rent a chicken suit and run around nearby streets trying to get attention. As silly as that sounds, a local newspaper wrote about it, so it actually did help introduce a few new people to Hooters. But their first big break was during the 1984 Super Bowl between the Raiders and Redskins. A star player for the Redskins, John Riggins, came to Hooters before the game for lunch, and then returned with his teammates after the game. Photographs of them at Hooters circulated in the papers, and Hooters doubled their sales almost immediately. That same year, the original owners sold expansion and franchise rights to a group of investors, who created Hooters of America. This new corporation was in charge of franchising, and over the next few years, they opened dozens more Hooters locations. Hooters then got another big breakthrough in July 1986. The first Hooters girl, Lynn Austin, became Playboy magazine's Playmate of the Month.
That's
and
crazy.
Playboy included an article all about Hooters, which was the perfect free promotion for them. So by 1991, Hooters had reached more than 50 restaurants and $100 million in revenue. Some people clearly loved the concept, but others absolutely hated it. And this would lead to all kinds of legal issues.
Yeah, I've always heard that like it was always controversial. Not always, but like growing up, like I always wanted to go to Hooters, like I said, but my parents, well, really my mom, I'm pretty sure my pops would have mattered, but she said nah.
In 1997, 3 men from Chicago sued Hooters after being denied employment based on their gender. And Hooters settled, so they ended up getting $19,100 each.
That's nothing.
In response, Hooters agreed to
each.
create other
Oh,
jobs
that's
in their
something.
business
Okay.
that were open to everyone. But Hooters said they would not change their rules about only hiring women for their waitstaff. After all, they literally called them Hooters girls. As a result, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission launched an investigation into the company, and their conclusion was that since Hooters clearly was discriminating based on gender, they should pay millions to all the men who'd been rejected for jobs. But
Millions?
here's the thing. Even though normally restaurants wouldn't be able to stop someone getting a job because of their gender, Hooters argued that the Hooters girls are there to provide entertainment, and there are different rules when it comes to hiring entertainers. For example, gender discrimination is allowed when hiring an actor for a specifically male or female role. And Hooters basically
So they
said
used
they're
this
auditioning
loophole?
for the role of Hooters girl. And by hiring waitresses as entertainers, it also means the company can make strict rules about how they look and what they wear. So Hooters can specify in the contract that their hair must always be down and that makeup is required every day. Hooters also had another defense. In employment law, there is something called a bona fide occupational qualification exception, which recognizes that in some rare instances, it may be necessary to only hire
I'll be
a
right back, I'm about to
specific
get a snack.
gender. And Hooters argued that hiring attractive women is a necessary aspect of their business model. They said, "The essence of our business is the Hooters girl and the experience she provides to our customers. So that's how they're able to only hire female waitstaff." And Hooters actually used these
That's a
discrimination
crazy
lawsuits
loophole.
to their advantage. They released a big ad campaign with a hairy guy called Vince in a Hooters uniform. The idea was to show how ridiculous it would be if they did have to hire men for that role. They spent a lot of money putting him in newspapers and billboards, and so they managed to turn the lawsuits into a great marketing campaign.
That's actually kind of
However,
smart.
they would soon be facing a whole new controversy.
Why was it a silhouette of Yoda? Contest? What contest? Oh, what's that? Didn't they? I'm tweaking. Get it? Nah, for real, right? You know what I just realized though? I want to say this. He's probably gonna get into this. I want to say I've heard that Hooters invented the wet t-shirt contest. Let's see. Is it what he's about to say?
April 2001, Hooters announced a contest for its employees. Whoever sold the most beer could win a brand new Toyota.
Oh, that's completely off from what I was thinking. Who invented that, bro? It had to have been some. I thought it was Hooters.
It wasn't specified which Toyota, but either way, it sounded like a great prize.
Whatever.
So all the Hooters girls got to work selling as much beer as they possibly could. The eventual winner
Charmaine
was
could
Jody
get it,
Berry, and she was thrilled. Imagine working a low-paid job and then winning a brand new car. Her manager told her the good news and then blindfolded her and led her out to the Hooters parking lot to reveal her prize.
Oh, that's where
However,
Yoda comes
when
in.
Jody's blindfold was removed, in front of her was not a Toyota car, Instead,
The
on the
toy
ground
Yoda.
was a toy Yoda, a small figurine of the popular Star Wars
No,
character.
that's actually so messed
The
up.
manager started laughing, but Jody did not laugh. She began to realize what had happened. You see, the contest had started April 1st, or in other words,
April Fool's Day.
And her
Yeah.
manager now explained all she'd won was a toy Yoda, not a car. Jody didn't see the funny side of it though. She'd worked hard in the contest, and so she was angry.
I bet.
In fact, she decided to sue Hooters. The story did end up having a happy ending for Jody though, as they reached a
Oh, she won?
settlement.
Oh, they reached a
The
settlement.
exact amount she was paid wasn't specified, but her attorney said Jody would have enough to go to a local car dealership and pick out whatever type of Toyota she wants. As for Hooters, despite paying out money in these various lawsuits, it wasn't a huge deal for them. Overall, their business was thriving, and they were expanding into even more international markets. And so, with their chicken wings selling so well, Hooters did what any logical restaurant would do. Start an airline. Wait.
How does that correlate?
What?
Yeah.
Before we get to the next chapter, I have a
It's gonna
question
be an ad.
for you. After hearing about other entrepreneurs building their businesses, preparing things they need,
I knew it.
customer busy.
I'm about to snap this
just
ad. No ads. Let's go. I've never heard of this airline before. How long was it on for?
In 2003, Hooters had lots of cash and wanted to use that to expand their brand. So they purchased a small airline called Pace Airlines and rebranded it to Hooters Air. They decorated the planes with their orange Hooters branding, and they announced that on every flight there would be 2 local Hooters girls, plucked straight out of their restaurants.
What would you tell
What?
people out there watching the show about flying Hooters Air?
You should definitely do it. It's an experience like no other.
By yourself.
It's gonna be the most exciting time of your life.
Contrary to what you might think,
I'm
these
just
were not the
flying,
flight
though.
attendants, and they had
Like-
no airline training.
Right.
Instead, the Hooters girls' job on the plane was just to entertain passengers. So basically, midway through every flight, 2 Hooters girls, dressed in the distinctive skimpy Hooters uniform, would get up to sing songs, host trivia games, and sell Hooters merchandise. Amazingly, this actually worked quite well at first.
Really?
Customers perhaps wanted to try Hooters Air just for the novelty. Plus, they also
Right.
offered pretty cheap flights, typically a flat rate of $129 each way. However,
Each way?
Hooters Air did not have a happy ending. After just 3 years, they ended up with a $40 million loss.
Damn!
And there were several reasons Hooters Air didn't work out. Firstly, at the time, many people were still wary of getting on flights after 9/11, so there was less demand.
Oh,
Secondly,
facts.
more low-cost airlines had been popping up, meaning more competition. And thirdly, fuel prices had been rising substantially, which meant higher costs.
Right.
This was a massive problem, as the airline industry is known for narrow profit margins. In fact, there's a running joke that if you want to be a millionaire, step 1 is to be a billionaire, and step 2 is to start an airline. Congratulations, you're now a millionaire. So basically, all of this together meant that eventually Hooters Air just wasn't economically viable. It also didn't help that Hooters had a bit of a stigma of being seedy. So even if Hooters could match the other low-cost airlines, a family is more likely to choose the airline that doesn't feature the Hooters girls. So faced with all of these challenges, in 2006, Hooters Airline officially shut down.
After 3
And
years.
Hooters would soon have an even bigger problem.
Yeah, the fall of Hooters. I was just saying, I barely see any of them today. Like,
Hooters today has more than 420 stores in 29 countries around the world. But their
29
success
countries?
has motivated more competition, like Twin Peaks and
Yeah,
Tilted
Twin
Tilt,
Peaks.
which basically
I've
offer
heard
the
of Twin
same
Peaks.
premise but with different uniforms.
ooh, wait. That's their uniform at Tilted Kilt? What is Tilted Kilt?
In fact, there was a lot of controversy when a former CEO of Hooters went to start a franchise at Twin Peaks, and Hooters then sued the company for stealing trade secrets.
That's crazy.
However, some people would say the Hooters concept is dying out. An article from Business Insider noted that Hooters has been on the decline for a while. And they suggested that could be because millennials are less interested in breasts than their elders. Now, I'll be honest,
I wouldn't say that. I just think it's the fact that nobody really eats at sit-down restaurants like that no more. Like, I would much rather DoorDash my food than go out and sit at a restaurant. Real talk. No, for real though, right? But I'm just saying, like, I don't think nobody really. I don't think it's that, bro. I don't think it's that nobody likes titties no more. I just think it's just that no one likes sit-down restaurants. I can't tell you the last time. Yeah, nobody want to go out like that. I don't know the last time I was like super hyped and wanted to go to like a restaurant and sit down and eat without my family. Because it's different when it's with my family. We got nothing else to eat in the crib, so we go out. But like, I don't know. That's what I think is really, yeah.
But either way,
I think
in
that's really
response
the
to
case.
the declining sales, in 2017, Hooters launched a spin-off called Hoots, with more reserved outfits designed to be more family-friendly. They also started focusing more on delivery for people embarrassed to go to their stores. Hooters acknowledged, many people wouldn't step foot in our restaurants, but they want our product. And a Hooters consultant added, now if your partner sees a charge for Hooters, you can just say it was delivered. The problem for Hooters is that many would say their food...
Right, people like titties. They just ask people to go to Magic City, sit down, eat wings. Nah, for real though. If they really want to see titties and wings, they just at this point go to a strip club. Cause Hooters is just like soft core joint. You know what I mean? Like,
was never their real selling point. In fact, a lot of people think the food is overrated. To make matters worse, a study
I heard
by
the food was
University of
mid
Tennessee
at
found that
Hooters.
working at restaurants, and yes, that really is what they call restaurants like Hooters, was damaging to women's mental health. They also found these employees experienced higher levels of anxiety and disorder eating. There have also been some serious accusations and lawsuits from Hooters staff themselves, including numerous cases of unwanted sexual advances from managers and claims of it being a toxic workplace.
I've heard about that.
For example,
actually,
one Hooters girl said she was told if she didn't lose weight within 30 days, she'd be fired.
now that's
Hooters
crazy.
then faced even more backlash in 2021 when they made a change to their uniform and made it even smaller and skimpier. It went viral as Hooters girls posted it on social media, complaining it was so revealing. Although,
Nah, that's crazy. That is crazy. And that's your job uniform. Like, yo, everything's hanging out.
the company then backtracked, saying the employees could choose to still wear the old design if they preferred. But either way, clearly opinion on Hooters is going to be divided. On the one hand, you could argue the concept is outdated and times have moved on, as many would say it's objectifying women and just kinda sleazy. But on the other hand, you could argue that if adults are choosing to work there, and many say they've had a very positive experience and made great tips, what's the harm?
Yeah.
You can simply choose not to work there or eat there if you don't like it. So let me know in the comments which side you fall on. But
I fall on this side, low key. Really high key, I mean. Because it's like, he's right. If you're an adult and you spent the time to fill out the application, go through those interviews, then you at this point did it in your own will. Like, no one's forcing you to work there out of all the jobs. Like, real talk. And you know what you're signing up for, typically. Now, the toxic side of it, I don't agree with. But, like, in terms of the idea and the premise of the restaurant, like, I think that's what really... I think that's on them, pretty much. These people could think what they want, but then just don't go to Hooters. Now, low key, at this point, I kind of want to try it, cause I've heard the food was mid. This even said it was mid. It was like overpriced or whatever, but I don't know. I don't even know where there's a Hooters near me, to be honest with you. But look, Angel, you get any time off? You trying to go to Hooters with me? Get some wings? But here's the thing though too, is like, low key, what's the purpose of going to Hooters today though? Cause like, I see some pretty girl. I'm trying to hop down for real. Look, you can work out Hooters, baby, trust. But like, I'm gonna try to, like, but I don't know.